Hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. So we'll give it a few minutes here for people to enter. Thank you all. I always have to, and Shannon, you'll help me if I don't get everybody entered. Thank you. Great.
I'm just trying to remember where I do that. Will it just pop up on my screen?
Oh, you know, hang on. Nope, I got to go to you and let you in. Hang on. Okay. Now you're a co-host.
All right. Got it. Here we go.
Thank you. So we'll give it to a couple minutes after, and then we'll get started. Still have some people coming in. Okay.
Zoom yet?
Okay, so it's 7:03. We'll give it to 7:05, and then we'll get started. We've got about 34 people on. I know some people kind of trailing a little bit later. So just so everyone knows, this is being recorded so that those who are unable to attend can listen to it, because it will be posted on the PTA website. So if that's an issue for anybody, you may want to block yourself, or you can always just dial in if that's your preference, if you don't want to be seen as participating. But we do find it's easier if we can tape it if people want to listen to aspects of it. So thank you. Okay, so we're at 34 participants. So I'll get started, and then as people join, that would be great. What I thank you all for being here today, and I see a number of my fellow board members. So thank you, everyone. Leslie, Shannon, Jenny, Stephanie. I'm sure I'm missing a couple other ones that are here. Sue, thank you very much, and probably a few others. So I'm going to apologize because there's a couple different pages here. But thank everyone for being here. Thank you very much. And so this is our second PTA town hall meeting of the calendar year, and we're into week 4 of school. So I think hopefully all of our children are settled. One of the things I'd like to do at the start of every meeting is just remind ourselves of what the PTA's mission is, which is really to make every child's potential a reality by engaging and empowering families and communities to advocate for all children. So that's really the purpose of the PTA, and we as PTA board members, as well as certainly as parents and teachers, we're really here to serve our teachers, our parents, and most importantly, our Seaholm students. So thank you all for joining. And in that regard, I'm delighted to say that one of our goals was to have more teacher and student representation on part of the PTA, and we may have to change it to PTSA, as we now have students joining us, which I'm delighted. So I'm delighted to welcome tonight to our call, and I feel like we've accomplished one of our first goals, which was to have teacher representatives and student representatives. So I wanted to thank and welcome Gwen Wyman, Jaden Rockheim, and Sophie Gerdeman. They are our student representatives from our Student Congress. So thank you, all three of you, for attending. We're delighted to have students representing on this council. So we really appreciate that. And then our teacher representatives, again, delighted to have Dawn Whitehead, who's computer technology, and Vicki Barberi, who is ASD Student Center. So thank you, all five of you, for being here. Our intention is to connect with you later and have some one-on-one discussion with those two key stakeholder groups to know what it is that you're looking for and want the PTSA to do to support all of you. So I'll give a quick highlight as to our agenda, and then we'll jump right into it. We're going to review general PTA business pretty quickly, financials, minutes, some status quo against our goals. We'll talk about upcoming events, and then we'll dive into just some status on some things that we have going on, and then we're going to turn it over to Kyle. And Kyle is going to give us kind of a rundown on where things are with school. A lot's been going on. They've been busy with lots of planning and lots of activity. And I know there's several individuals from Kyle's team who will also be talking to us about counseling and college and sports and all sorts of wonderful topics. So, and we do have a chat. So if there's questions that people would like to ask, we can do a little Q&A. If you have questions for the PTA board or for Kyle, we will get to those as well. Okay, so I think we'll start with just our general PTA business. We will post all prior meetings minutes, both written minutes, thank you Stephanie, as well as audio on the PTA website. And so you'll be able to see those out there. Those have just been posted, so we'll pause on approving last month's meeting minutes. I don't know that everyone has had a chance to see them, but we'll cover that both this month's and next month's at our final meeting. So we'll cover minutes the next time. We wanted to do a review of financials and look to the group for an initial approval. So I'm going to turn it over to Leslie Voigt, who is our treasurer. Leslie?
Thanks, Julia. So far, we almost have the budget finalized, but we're waiting to find out the end numbers that we're getting in from eFunds for PTA direct donations, membership dues, and the printed directory that we're selling, which is a fundraiser. So by the end of September, we'll have kind of better numbers for income. As of right now, we have about 125 families that gave a direct donation, which is about maybe 12% or so of the total student body. And it's a little bit less than what we got last year. We were hoping for more, but we did have quite a bit of carryover money from last year since due to COVID, we were not able to grant as many teacher grants as we had wanted to. So far this year, we spent about $1,600 on headsets and a webcam, and we are hoping to get more teacher grant requests in the near future. Other than that, we're just kind of selling the directory, waiting for the final numbers, and then we'll update the budget and we'll post a final budget on the website as soon as it's approved. And that's about it.
Any questions at all as it relates to the finances or the budget at this point in time? Nothing. Okay. As Leslie mentioned, we're not quite at the numbers that we've seen last year in a couple categories. So we are going to do some tracking and some trending to see where we are as it relates to membership and dues and donations. As we know, there's a lot of need and a lot of opportunity to support our teachers and our students. So we'll probably do a little thermometer just to see where we are and how we track or trend from year to year. So, but thank you, Leslie, for that. I will acknowledge, and we're probably going to put this out here, as some of you may have experienced, there was a little bit of a challenge, or more of a challenge, with eFunds. And so what I might also suggest to each of you is not all of the items in eFunds popped up. And I'm not speaking about membership or donations. I'm talking about anything. So could have been yearbook, could have been senior night, senior types of things for the year. So I would encourage all of you to go back out to eFunds and take another peek and see if there's anything that pops up that you hadn't seen before. There should be about a dozen to 14 items. And I know there was a little challenge, and sometimes you'd only see 8, and sometimes you'd see 10, and sometimes you'd see multiple items multiple times. So just encourage you to, and we'll put a note out there as well, but might take a double check on eFunds and make sure that you got all the things that you wanted to your books and all those other good, important things. So, but thank you, Leslie. So do we need to do an approval of the finances at this stage? Since it's not final, I think we wait till the next meeting, right?
I would think so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm all still learning this process for boards. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so Jenny, we were going to see if you wanted to add in anything else. Jenny Beckman, thank you so very much for your incredible effort around teacher grants and for the what we've provided thus far this year.
I'll just give a quick recap of what we have done and what we're hoping to do. In 2019, we granted about $7,000 worth of teacher grants. The main criteria that we look at and we ask the teachers to provide for us is how many students will it impact? Will it impact them more than 1 year? We kind of take all our applications. We meet with Kyle, who really kind of guides us in terms of what's needed most, and we kind of follow her direction. But we do meet, and the application for 2020 teacher grants went out about a week ago. And the deadline is moved up this year to October 15th in the hopes that we can get the items in the hands of the teachers as quickly as possible. We would like to have that money come in through direct donations and turn it around and put it in use to benefit students and teachers as quickly as we possibly can. So by October 22nd, we should have those approved. That's not to say that the PTA can't approve grants all year long. If teachers have something that pop up later and they send in an application, the PTA board and its members can approve anything all year round, but we try to do this at least once a year. We also, in addition to the grants from last year, we supplied 86 headphone sets. I see Kyle is wearing a pair. I see Christy is wearing a pair. They're not Bose headphones. We found the best price we could, the best bang for our buck kind of thing. And we supplied 86 pairs. And one of the best parts about them is it puts the microphone right up in front of the teachers' mouths, which seems to be helping with their online teaching. It helps the clarity for the kids during their classes, especially, and also kind of cancels out the noise in the room. I think that's about it. I will just give one more plug for eFunds. I'm not shy about when Julia says check your eFunds. These grants, your direct donations, 100% almost, not maybe 100%. We fund some other things in the PTA, but the direct donations is the only place that we get funding for the teacher grants. So if you want to support the teachers, they are working overtime and doing everything they can for our kids. This is a great way to say thank you to them. I will put in the chat the link for the eFunds and Venmo. It's a suggested donation of $75 per student and $125 per family if you have more than one student. And on behalf of the teachers, I will offer a great, big thank you, because I know they appreciate the things that we provide so that they can help support and enrich our students.
Thanks, Jenny. That's great. And actually, we also supported Jeremy Barber with a webcam, and we're going to get a sense of how that works as we move further in our virtual learning and how some of those tools may come into play. So we're delighted on that one too. So thank you. So just a quick report out against where we are with our PTA goals. As we want to, you got to monitor what you measure and measure what you monitor, and then you're going to get some outcomes on things. So we, as we said, want to see some increased PTA membership, and one of the ways we wanted to do that was to really create some mechanisms in which parents and teachers and students could really see some increased communication. I want to say we're delighted with membership. We have 40 people participating tonight. We had 71 on the prior PTA town hall meeting, which is great. The Seaholm website has been updated. Everything there is clean and new, so all the data is accurate. We will post minutes. We will post financials. The PTA schedule will change a little bit than what's currently posted because we recognize we were conflicting with the BPS Board of Education sessions on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock. We don't want to have that conflict, so we're going to move our meetings likely to a mix of Tuesdays and Wednesdays. You'll have that conflict resolved. We have Facebook, which has been great. It's been a great venue for a lot of things posted. Andrea Goffert, thank you so much for the time that you put in getting information out onto Facebook. It's been a great venue for parents to share, to ask questions. And I also want to thank the parents. Our Facebook page has stayed really positive. It's sharing positive information, and people have really been great about not posting comments that are of a more personal matter and not specific to what's important for our kids at school. So I want to thank you for that too, because this is really our mode of communication and a leverage of support. And then we do have Instagram and Twitter too, though I don't Twitter very well. And then obviously one of our goals was student and teacher participation. So again, I'm going to say I'm delighted to see 3 students and 2 of our teachers here, and we will, I'm not going to call on them today. We're not going to put them, Gwen or Jaden or Sophie, you're not on the line right now for anything from the students' perspective, but we will be getting back with you in Student Congress about what it is you're looking for from the PTA as students, and what your perspective is and what it is the PTA can do to support you all. And then obviously Ms. Whitehead and Ms. Barberi, we will be getting back with both of you and understanding from a teacher's perspective. So we're looking forward to hearing from you at some future PTA meetings. And then we will have some standing agenda that you all will have on the agenda if you have topics that you want to raise. One of the other goals we had was to have some relevant topics, meaningful and relevant topics for parents. And so I'm delighted to say, and thank you, Shannon, our vice president, has been working, and we are going to have at the next PTA meeting, which will be on October the 21st, which is a Wednesday, the topic of mental health and suicide and mental health and emotional health has really come up a lot, particularly with a lot of the angst that parents have been having about virtual school. And so we're delighted to say that we're going to have an outside speaker, Dr. Gigi Colombini, I never say if I say that correctly, working with 2 of our quite seasoned counselors, seasoned in this area of mental health and suicide. So with Nicole Fistine and Sheree Wilson, we're going to have that as part of our topics for the next PTA meeting in October. So we're delighted to be able to say that we're meeting those needs, and hopefully that topic will be important to all of you. And then you'll hear from Nicole and Sheree about what more they'll be doing and are doing with parents and students throughout the school year. One last comment is we have 2 open chair positions. We still have fundraising and we still have communications. If anyone would like to raise a hand and join us, that would be great. We would appreciate that. And then I guess before I turn it over to Kyle, are there any questions specific to PTA that anyone would like to ask, or is in the, I don't see anything necessarily in the chat box right now. So, but if there's anything for the PTA that you want to ask people, surely by all means do that. So I know that Kyle's got a number of things to talk through. As I said earlier, there's a lot that Kyle and administration are doing to really get some connectivity with our students. I think everybody appreciates the angst everyone's having about whether you're a freshman or a senior, sophomore or junior, you want to kind of see your tribe and see your clan. And so how do we do that? And so I know Kyle and the administration have really been working hard on that. Kyle's going to introduce us to our new, or Christy for Carousel will introduce us to our new college counselor, which we're delighted to say welcome. Some news on the activities fair. We're going to have some news on sports. So I'm going to turn it over to Kyle and Kyle's team.
Thanks, Julia, and thanks everybody here for coming tonight. It's great to see you. And especially students, welcome. I see Caden. I'm not sure we mentioned Caden wave, and Jaden, I can see you. I don't, who other, the other, you just wave so we know which ones are students. And if you have anything you want to say during our presentation, please feel free. I mean,
Caden, I didn't call your name out, so I apologize. I see you there in the corner. I thought that was a student. Thank you. Thanks, Kyle.
That's all right. It's just great to see everybody here. And I want to turn it over. I'm going to start with Aaron, because I know he told me today he has a couple meetings he needs to get to for some coaches. And so I'm going to turn it over to Aaron, and he's going to give you just a brief report on the status of the ever-changing status of athletics right now in our COVID world.
Okay, thanks, Kyle. Hi, everybody. As Kyle said, my name is Aaron Frank. I've been AD at Seaholm for 23 years, and I've been at Seaholm for about 31 altogether. This year is, goes without saying, just completely unusual. And in athletics, there are some hard and fast bookends that we work around, primarily being our sports schedules, and then also the playing rules for each sport. The interesting thing about this year is that both of those have changed and they continue to change. So, I'll provide you with some information today, and to be perfectly blunt with you, I'm confident some of it will change even this week. The Michigan High School Athletic Association is changing most of their end of the year tournament formats, and we sort of back up everything from that. And we've received information in the last few days on changes to the tennis tournament and the golf tournament, and but none of the others yet. And they're slowly coming out over the next several days. And so as those change, that sort of has impact on our competition, that we're doing through the regular season. And I know our coaches, our parents, our boosters, everybody is just doing the best they can to adopt and adapt to the changing landscape. I think at the high level, what I'd like to say to you is, I think we have a lot of good news. And the good news is that as we have rolled out our athletic programs, we are able to return, even though it's, format's a little different, we've been able to provide a nice sense of normalcy, of routine, and of familiarity to our student athletes in doing the things that they normally do. It's, a little bit different. Our practice situations are different. Our competitions are a little different. Our pre and post game rituals, our, simple examples like not using locker rooms and not having the same kind of close contact that we typically have. We've still been able to provide, I think, some of the first steps of normalcy. And the feedback that I have received from both our parents and our students is that this has been, really, it's been embraced, and it's something that's exciting. I think it helps relieve a lot of the pressure and stress. I think our students are really enjoying the opportunity to connect with their peers and also with their coaches, and be in settings outside of
my ear thing.
the typical school setting. Let's see, some of the other things I would like to tell you. We don't know a lot yet about winter sports, and a lot of people have asked about that. The MHSAA has allowed our spring sports, this is the first time ever, to practice up to 16 days in the fall. And the rules on that have changed already once since they were first announced. So that's something that's a little different. The winter sports, which are typically in a preseason mode right now, have mostly been sidelined, although we're expecting information to come on those soon. So if you have a son or daughter who's a winter athlete, you can expect to start seeing some information on that pretty soon. We don't know exactly what's going to happen with certain sports like basketball and wrestling, for example, because those are close contact. They're in that high risk category in terms of the way that each sport has been categorized. But we are anticipating a continual evolution of returning to this new normal. One other question that I'm asked quite a bit is about the physical form and what's required for medical clearance this year. It is different. In the past, a student had to have a new physical form signed by the physician or provider every single year. And this year, because the MHSAA and other state organizations across the country were advised to to help relieve some of the stress on primary care physician offices, that physical, you don't need a new physical. If you have one that was turned into a BPS school last year, the only thing you need to do for us this year is complete a health questionnaire. And we do have it on the website, and you can complete that yourself. It does not require the provider's signature. And then we will just notate that along with the physical. So if you had one for parents of freshmen, if you had a physical last year that you turned in to either Derby, BCS, or Berkshire, then we're good to go. If you came from a private school and you had a physical elsewhere, you can get us a copy of that one along with the questionnaire, and you will be cleared, or your son or daughter, I should say, will be cleared to play as well. The schedules are, we are doing our best to keep them updated on the website. There are many, many changes, and more this year than probably every other year combined. The reason is there are schools that are impacted by, unexpectedly impacted by COVID situations, and then we are adapting. So I'll give you an example. Our swim team was scheduled to have an away swim meet on Thursday. The school that we were scheduled to swim at had some issues based really more on the size of their facility and preparedness and some other things. And so we flipped that meet to home, and then it's, you know, it's reflected on the schedule now, but there's definitely more changes than usual. So I would recommend just checking that website and checking it regularly. When I post a change on the software on our end, it is available instantaneously on the web portal for parents. And then I guess the last thing I would say that folks have been asking about is live streaming. And we are doing our best to live stream. We, in I guess what was a real fortunate and fortuitous move, we jumped into a system last year, which is run by the National Federation of High Schools. It's called NFHS Network. And I've been sending out the link, and we'll also have it prominent on the website. And we have these really amazing technology pieces. They are fixed camera systems. One is in the gym and one is in the pool. And this company has developed a system where it basically uses artificial intelligence to follow the ball. And it zooms in and it zooms out. It uses some really cool software to put a graphic overlay with the score and the timing information. And so parents who, or grandparents or others who just can't come to a game are able to watch the live stream. And so that system is in the gym and the pool. I'm sorry, the gym and the on the field. And then we were fortunate enough to have some parents who are assisting with live streaming of swim meets, which are obviously a little bit harder to observe from afar. But we'll continue to do that even beyond the COVID situation. When we're able to return more spectators to the facility, we'll continue to do this. And it's really exciting. In fact, Kyle, I didn't tell you this, but I checked the report to see we had over 2,400 people watch the graduation live on that stream, which blows me away.
Yeah,
it's a huge number.
That's great. Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Anyhow, that's the basic report. And I look forward to meeting everybody when we can all get back together a little bit better.
Thanks, Aaron. I really appreciate that. Does anybody have one or two questions for Aaron before he goes? He does have to meet with some coaches. So,
just one question, Aaron. Will the better technology be available eventually for the swimmers?
Answer is yes. The company that has deployed this system is beta testing a pool version right now. And we're on a list to receive one once they've got it sorted out.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. All right. Thanks so much, Aaron. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks. Bye, everyone.
Okay. I wanted to introduce you to our teacher rep today. I saw her a minute ago, Vicki Barbieri, and she is here. She comes running in. She's waving. She is at her church doing some gardening and maintenance there. But that's Vicki. Vicki, do you want to say hello to you? Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Hello. How are you?
All right.
I hope you enjoy the garden.
All right. Well, thank you, Vicki. Thanks for being here.
Mm-hmm.
And Vicki is one of our 3 teacher reps that you'll be seeing at these meetings. We also have Jane LeBond and Dawn Whitehead. Okay, so they're very excited about being a part of this, and we've explained that their duties are to listen and provide input and answer questions that you might have, but then also come back and share with the staff the things that are going on here at the PTA meetings as well. And so I'm pretty excited. We also plan on bringing in our class advisors as well to meetings. We have 4 class advisors, and they'll be coming in to talk about some of the things and some of the activities that we're planning with the students, and also to provide input and to receive your input and feedback so that we can go back and really try to support our students. Next, I'd like to introduce Christy Fakaris, whom you all know, and she is going to introduce just our welcome edition of Brenda to you. And we are really excited to introduce her to you tonight. Christy?
Thank you, Kyle. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your meeting today. I asked Julia if I could just quickly introduce Brenda, which I will do in a moment. I thought while I have this captured audience, I would take the opportunity to put a couple things out there. This isn't an all-encompassing list. I just wanted to highlight some things that are happening in the counseling office and hopefully just put some information out there. We are done with, schedules and schedule changes and meeting with a lot of wonderful new families. Really happy to see that year after year. We are in the middle of college app season, and our kids are busy working on their college applications. Over the last week and a half, each counselor reached out to their seniors, inviting them to please, and I'm hoping you encourage your student, if you have a senior, please meet with us. We would like to do one-on-one Zooms. I even opened up, I told my seniors, I don't care if it's a small group, invite your friends. I don't care about the last name, just let's do this. And so please encourage, if you have a senior, to meet with their counselors. We've had a series of different college-related events, but really that one-on-one is important, and we want to see where they're at. Tomorrow's our first day of testing, and so I just want to give you a little bit of information. First of all, we're all surprised it's actually happening. We have been meeting since last May, June at the district level, and the 2 high school counselors and some administrators, and we didn't think it was happening. Lots of things were getting canceled and a lot of misinformation, but it's happening. And so the way it works for high school, so it's not K-8. For the high school, we are required to offer it. However, the state is not mandating students actually take it. It's on a volunteer basis due to health, safety, and others. Students or families can decide not to have their student test. So we will offer the PSAT 9, PSAT, and MSQT for 10 and 11, and SAT with essay. And SAT with essay will be tomorrow. It's for seniors. And we will do all of this again in April. And so it's just something because of COVID, they wanted the districts to offer it. Again, families don't have to participate or have their students participate. It was a crazy turnaround. I have to be honest, we just got our materials Friday, and if you know me, you know I don't roll this way. This is not the way I like to do things. I like things to be done well in advance. You know my dates. I send you my dates in June for the entire year, and to have these new testing dates, it rocks my world. And so we are doing our best in the counseling office, and unfortunately we did have some families that were disappointed because they tried to add in late, and we are ordering these materials from testing, from College Board, our testing agency, and we have to meet deadlines. And so it's, we just ask for your patience. We will, for the most part, be doing this all over again in April. We actually try to, keep putting that communication out there with our seniors and the families of seniors. Please take a look at the colleges your students applying to see if they're requiring a test. All the colleges we know of are test optional, test blind, test flexible, all meaning if you don't have an opportunity to test, it's okay. They're going to look at the other aspects of your application. And so that's just sort of where we're at. But I want to shift gears, and I really want to put the focus on our new hire. I'm so happy to have her with us. Brenda is in here. I don't know if you can see her tile, but she's in here somewhere. Brenda Guyan-Huddy. Brenda comes to us with a lot of post-secondary experience, and that's really important. When Kyle and I were interviewing, the fact that Brenda had all this post-secondary experience, she had a lot of relationships, she was in the professional organizations that we want, and it just allows for a swift transition. Brenda does have a bachelor's from Albion and a master's in K-12 education administration from Michigan State University, and she has a teaching certificate. And so most of her career she has spent at the post-secondary level, but she has also taught as well, which I always love to see. And but Brenda has that experience facilitating students' understanding of post-secondary information. She's equipped and has the know-how to help them align their aspirations with the correct or with potential colleges and potential programs. So please just join me in welcoming Brenda. Yay, and Brenda, I don't know if you want to wave because there's a lot of little tiles out there. And if you just want to share with the group just a couple things that are just going on. Something informal, nothing, formal here.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. Really happy to be here, meet you all virtually. Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be at Seaholm and part of the community. A lot is happening right now in college and career. First, I want to let you know that it's college rep visit time. And this year that's happening virtually. The colleges have really are putting on great programming. So as on our calendar, we have a lot of events coming up for college visits. I sent out a email reminder to seniors that I will be doing weekly about the events that will be coming up. So just to let you know, they can also find that information on the college and career website calendar. But weekly, they'll get a reminder of, hey, this is going to be some of our next visits. Also want to let you know we're going to be doing a Q&A, continuing those have started. The next one is going to be October 7th. And that's just some college planning, some commonly asked questions about the application process. So the next one, again, will be October 7th at 10:45 a.m. for the students. But again, really happy to be at Seaholm High School and look forward to working with all of you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Brenda, and thanks, Christy. We really appreciate all the work that the counseling department is doing right now, and we really welcome Brenda to her role, and we're pretty excited to have that. I know it took a lot of time, and I really appreciate the patience that our community really had as we went through that process between the pandemic and then some changes that we really had to have happen in this role. We had to restructure it, and that took some time. And I really appreciate the central office and Dean DeForest, our human resources assistant superintendent, who worked with me when I said we really need to change the category of this. And I appreciate Brenda's patience, because that was since June. And so all of that worked out, and I think we're all going to be really, really happy with this turn of events. So welcome. Are there any questions for Christy and Brenda before I turn them loose, because they're getting up early for the test?
So Brenda, the emails go out directly to the students through their, but not to the parents. Is that right, around some of the sessions? Is that correct?
I send it out to the senior class, correct, to the students.
Great, thank you. Welcome, we're delighted you're here.
Thank you so much, thank you.
All right, and parents can always find this information on the website, the College and Career website, and the counseling website as well. So I understand sometimes our seniors get a little preoccupied and they might not be completely on top of their email. And so we can always give them that little nudge if we take a look at the websites to make sure that we know what's coming up and available for our students. So thank you, Christy, and thank you, Brenda.
You're welcome. I'm going to stay on for a couple minutes and answer some chats, and then I will.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we have testing in the morning. We're excited about that. Wondering a little bit about how it's going to work out. We have close to 200 students coming into the building, and that is the first time in months. And so we've really worked hard to make sure that it's a safe entry and that the students at the same time feel comfortable coming in to take this important test. So while it is optional at many schools, we know that it's obviously important to our students because they took the time and effort to sign up and to come in. Please be sure if your senior is coming in tomorrow, that he or she wears a mask and follows all protocols, because that's very, very important upon entry, not just for your own child, but for the other kids as well, because not everyone has the same comfort level in coming together. But I promise that we have 6 feet distance between the students in the cafeteria and also in the gym. We have small tables now. It's a little different, and Christy's just done an incredible amount of manpower and work to make sure this happens. And so we're excited. We're excited about seeing the kids. I'm not sure if they'll be excited at 7:15 to take a test, but we're excited about seeing them. So I've asked the staff if they're available to come on down and wave and help us out here in the beginning as we bring the students in. And as Christy answers some of those questions, Christy, just, you know, wave if you need to say something to the group. I'm happy to stop. Yep.
Just
Okay.
real quickly, I'm getting some individuals, and
Okay.
I'm having a hard time. I'll click the hyperlink and I can respond to some individuals, but others it's not letting me. So I'll just put out there, I'm sorry, it is too late for your student to sign up for the SAT tomorrow. I wish it could happen. There's so many behind the scenes logistics. First of all, it's a materials issue, but secondly, today, for instance, I spent hours. Each student has to be assigned a test serial number booklet. And I report that to the Michigan Department of Ed. And there's a series of many things that take place. And so unfortunately, we can't add any students at this time. Not my rules, not happy with it. If it was something within our building, I would love to do this differently. And so, but thank you for your patience and everything. And again, this year is the year not to panic about a test. For the most part, I'll tell you, over my years, and I've been in the building since 1993, usually the test score, I would say for the majority of students, the test score is probably not where they want it to be. And so I love the fact that our admissions officers are going to make a decision on the student based on how hard they worked in college and in high school, and their essays and their outside activities and things like that. They will be making a decision based on the other facets of the application. And I personally am really happy about that. That sitting for one test for 4 or 5 hours and having it weigh the way it does sometimes doesn't do our kids any favors. You know, it doesn't help them. So I think let's take advantage of this one aspect of COVID.
And our students did do very well in entry to their colleges last spring and into this fall. And I don't see any reason why that would not continue. We want to remember that everybody in the country is in the same position. And so our students are evaluated together. And I think that we at Seaholm can hold our own in every category. And so I'm just going to tell you a little bit more. And again, Christy, just stop me if you need to. We've got 2 other things that I wanted to talk about tonight. First, some of the activities that we're starting to turn our attention to. And that first week or 2 of school, we really, as a school, needed to buckle down and learn the technology of Schoology and making sure that our curriculum was really going to meet the needs. We understood from our parents last year that they were unhappy with the spring format that we had. And so we spent a lot of time this summer behind the scenes, the teachers did, in reviewing their curriculum and making sure that they were not only seeing what they needed to do for this fall in terms of their curriculum, but what they needed to do in addition because of the situation and the gap that was caused because of last spring. And so while it is not something you see immediately, quite a bit of meetings occurred last summer as departments got together, as small groups of cohort teachers got together. For example, the integrated math teachers got together, and then they separated into the 1, 2, and 3. The world history teachers were meeting, the English 9 teachers were meeting, and all of these meetings were to really focus their attention on the curriculum. Late in in the summer when we returned to school and we started accessing some of that new technology, a lot of attention was paid on really being learning, quite frankly, Schoology and Zoom meetings and how to run that curriculum on top of that technology. And I believe that first few weeks, first couple of weeks that we really spent a lot of time, and the payoff was great. I think that I feel like I almost heard a collective exhale from the community, from our students, and from our staff as we thought we can do this. And so it was just so wonderful. I can't tell you how wonderful it was to see the kids. I've gone around and for the staff that are teaching from the building and just peeked in over their shoulders at the classes. Today I was in Coach DeWald's class watching him observe the students as they were exercising, you know, the different activities. And I think it's just wonderful. Mr. Preeb lets some of the students mow their lawn and the neighbor's lawn for activity points, you know, and I just think this is, there's some really nice things happening in this new format. And so now we were able to really start thinking about, well, what are we doing? How are we supporting our students in the social emotional ways as well? So I sent out an email to the staff and said, all right, who is interested in continuing their activities in a virtual remote setting and or outside here in the nicer months? The good news is I got more feedback than I can actually that we can pay for. So I was really nice to see so many people wanting to continue and even start some clubs. And so we've been pulling together, Suzanne O'Leary has been working on making sure with Delois and Mike ways to put a virtual activities fair. We've tentatively set the date as October 6th. And we're going to provide more detailed information about all the clubs and activities that our students can be involved in. I know today after school, the Diversity Club met. I know that we had we've got Josh Finn who wants to do the American Sign Language Club. We have a performance club with Justin LeBond. We have so many clubs that are starting to really reach the needs of so many of our students. And I'm so excited to see that beginning. We also, I sat down with Delois and Mike and some of the class sponsors and said, I want to know how can we support our different classes. And the senior class, some of the parents and Barb Hart, the senior class sponsor, came to me and said, what can we do? How do we involve, and really make the senior year special for these students? So tomorrow, Thursday morning, we have our first senior sunrise. And there's still room available in that particular senior sunrise. If your senior would like to come, have some apple cider and donuts and hang out on Maple Field to greet the sunrise and just hang out together for a little bit before school. We have 3 of those planned. We have September 30th and October 1st, I believe. And there's Sign Up Genius. You can sign up. I think our October 1st has 100 students, so we're capped at that. But the other dates have room available. So, consider signing up for that. And then I said, well, that's wonderful. I'm so glad we're going to get things done with our seniors. But what about that poor freshman class? They're brand new to Seaholm and they haven't been able to get inside the building. What can we do? And so as we started thinking about this, I reached out to Shannon Feliciano and said, hey, what do you think about pulling together, Spirit Week? We're missing our traditional and favorite holiday of Field Day. What are we going to do? How do we make October special for our students, all of our students? And so we started talking about the week of the 19th and what we could do for each class. So we have a senior parade planned. Our week is going to go actually from Friday to Friday, October 16th through October 23rd. And so Friday, October 16th, we are planning a senior parade. I've worked with the Birmingham Police. I've worked with Central Office, approved it. And so all we need now is some of your permission as we go through and organize a senior parade. We also have the following week, we have 10th grade Tuesdays. And so we're going to have some events for our 10th graders. Then on the 22nd, we have the 10-22 for the class of 22. And then on Friday, we have Freshman Friday. And so we've got something planned for each of those classes. We haven't we haven't secured all the details, so have some patience there, but we're pretty excited about making that week special. Student Congress is going to be involved with different things that we can work with the students. And I just was talking with the band, with Tim Seaborn and the band, and we think we're even going to be able to maybe that week have the marching band perform in this stadium. So we are just really excited about what we are able to do and what we're committed to do for our class in terms of just making sure that the fall, which is such a welcome back and a unifying time, still has some of that flavor. We also are going to secure a date in the spring for field day. We're going to do a save the date. We're going to try to arrange that, and so that the kids have something, the students have something to look forward to. That will be a field day, a proper field day. So those are some of the activities we have planned. I have some other things planned. I talked to Nick Karpinski about random acts of music that we could maybe do around the area. And I'm pretty excited about that. They're going to be practicing outside, it looks like. He just sent me that. I said, please let me know when they're going to be there. I want to come out and say hello. And so we're going to be doing some, I think, really fun things. If just the weather will hold, I think it'll be a fun October. And then, are there any questions about activities at all? And I'm not good at
I don't
looking
see anything in the
chat.
chat. I don't see anything in the
Okay,
chat
perfect.
file. No.
Perfect. All right.
People
And
are
then-
obviously very pleased.
Okay, good. Well, that's nice. I mean, we are pretty excited. And then I thought I'd just briefly talk a little bit about the reopening plan. While it does not completely affect the high school, not all students are returning. We do have our ASD students returning. Vicky's class is returning as of September 30th. And we have been spending, probably Mike DeLois and I have been working with central office and the building maintenance and the Oakland schools, Oakland County nurses who have been assigned to Birmingham and Seaholm to really make sure that the building is safe for the return for the students and the staff, because we want to make sure that whenever we have our kids back, whenever we have that transition, that it is something that is that will meet the needs of all of our students and staff and families. So we have been working with Groves on developing a schedule that will work for everyone. Tentatively right now, if you've probably seen, the first plan was to have an AM, PM cohort. And so we've looked at that, and that may be exactly what we're going through, but we're trying to develop some options that we can examine and really choose the best one that will align with the middle school, as well as work with the high schools, because we share staff between the middle schools. And so it has to work with them. And we share students sometimes. Some of their students come over to the high school as well. So we're looking at that. As you know, from looking at the board meetings, we have K through 8 returning, the middle school returning by, I think it's November 3rd or 4th, that early November date. And it's phased in over the next few weeks. And the ASD students will be returning to Seaholm and the annex on next week on September 30th. And so a lot of our time has been spent making sure that those rooms are ready. We've removed furniture so that there is social distancing. We've cleaned, we've made sure that we have replaced some items that were not conducive to being clean, that kind of thing. And we've created a wellness room. So should a student display symptoms, we can take the student there while he waits for his parents. Those kinds of things we've been doing. A lot of signage about, directions. We've put X's on the floor when we have to line students up. We've really spent a lot of time doing this, and we will continue to do that to make sure that we are ready when that comes to that transition piece. So that's what we've been spending our time doing, and so I appreciate your patience as I went through that report. If you have any questions about that, I think I did notice a question about the PD half days and why they're always morning students, PD afternoon. Generally, it's a district thing, and it's a contractual thing. I think they negotiate that with the teachers, between the teachers and the central leadership. But I think it's in part because the sometimes families from different grade levels like to have them the same. And so that was always the thinking behind that. I think last year we did at least one where we had the students come in the afternoon and we had the morning PD, but I don't see that this time, this year. So that's it. If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer.
One question is any discussion about potential prom?
Oh, prom coming up, you mean in the spring?
It doesn't say specific, so
yeah. So for the juniors,
generally.
for the spring prom, I'm hoping, you know, that we by then it would be nice if we were back to normal and we would have prom. But yeah, absolutely, we want to have prom. I don't know how we do that with homecoming at the same time. We've been talking about that. But we definitely want prom to be special and its unique traditional sense. So we do plan on having prom in the spring.
Great. I don't see any other questions, but there are, so thank you, Kyle. Lots of great energy and a lot of fun things going on. I love the week in October when all the different classes and grades will have a chance to do some fall celebrating in place of field day. So that sounds great and terrific to hear about all the different clubs and having that come out as well, because I know there's a lot of energy and kids looking forward to get connected. One other thing I did want to put a plug in for is that the Schools Offer Support, which was formerly Seaholm Offer Support, is doing a fun run, and that's, you know, fun run's really a great, just a great way to you know, be able to participate in an event and a fundraising event while at the same time, you know, keeping yourself safe. So the Schools Offer Support is going to be doing the fun run. You can do it between October the 8th and October the 18th. You can run alone or you can run with a couple friends, obviously distanced appropriately. And then you simply submit your times to the race webinar. We're delighted that Beaumont Hospital and Citizens have both our supporters for this event. And if you don't know a lot about Schools Offer Support, it's really where the community, through their donations, are giving to BPS families in need. And we do have BPS families in need, particularly now, as you can imagine, with the COVID situation and unemployment rates and so forth. So it's there's a price for a family or price for students, and pretty reasonable, $15 for students and $25 for everyone else. So you can get some groups together, teams together, as long as you stay distanced, and kind of pick the time in the day that you want to do your run. So that's another fun activity that sponsored through all of the different schools within Birmingham Public Schools, including Seaholm. So
can I just add a couple things? I sent out an email to the staff, and I know Leslie Martin said that the track team would participate. I have, I think maybe the soccer team said that they would be looking at talking about it at their practice. And so we've got several teams, I think, happening or starting to organize, and we will have a Seaholm team, including, yes, I don't know that I'll run, but I definitely, I can walk 5K.
Right.
And so, so I think that we'll have a Seaholm team. And so, yeah, it'll be fun. And I really hope everybody participates because it is a great cause. We had all summer, with the generous donations of this community and the BPS community, we're able to provide our families in needs, and it fluctuated a little bit, but at one point it was 60 families with gift cards, a $50 gift card every week. And there, as I think I've said before, those families were so appreciative. And now we've moved into, for those same families in need, and we're working with Gleaners Food Bank, and we are providing boxes of food staples for the month. And so we've got, I think it's like 2 boxes every 2 weeks. And so we're going to have Gleaners ship those boxes to us, and then we will get those, the families will come either get the box or we'll deliver the box to those who cannot make it to the school or the schools, because it's, again, district-wide, and that has been very appreciated as well. So it's really been heartwarming to see how we can support our families. And it's also, when I think about it, right, with Seaholm, we collected, field day was the time when we would collect food. Our students would do the can drives or the food drives, right? And we were the Gleaners' biggest donators. Like we were their biggest fundraisers in terms of food that we would bring to them. And this year we can't obviously do it because we don't have field day. But now in this strange, twist of pandemic fate, that we are going to be, Gleaners will be helping our community with food. And I think that there's something, really a lovely karmic piece to that. And so yeah, any help that we can have with SOS as a district now would be appreciated. And as a building, we will continue to do things as a building for our specific building needs. The counselors have a pantry that SOS always provided for students who needed food, that they could come in and have a snack or have lunch from the pantry. There would be girls' feminine needs would be there. And we often did school supplies also through there, and SOS provided that. Occasionally, if needed, we would purchase some spiritware and give it to some families in need as well. And so we'll continue to work with SOS to be sure that Seaholm, the families in need specifically at Seaholm, also still continue to benefit from your generosity. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's something that we sometimes forget, but it's absolutely definitely needed right now.
Yeah, so I guess the PTA board will have to talk about how all of us are going to do our run and our participation.
I'm going for a PR.
So that's right, get a little play out there. So I think we're just wrapping up, and we're at the top of the hour. I know sometimes we go an extra half an hour, but I think we've covered everything here. Again, I want to put a plug in for our PTA meeting next month, where we will have Gigi Columbini and Nicole and Cherie really coming to us around some important topic on mental health and suicide awareness. So please do, everyone, put that in your calendar for October the 21st, which will be a Wednesday, but it will be at 7 o'clock. Kyle, someone did ask, how do they get on the list for the lawn mowing?
Contact Brian Preeve, make sure he
to the PTA, is there anything else that I have not mentioned? Again, want to say thank you and welcome to our student representatives and our teacher representatives. So thank you very, very much for joining. Welcome, Brenda, as our new counselor. I'm delighted to have you with us. I'm sure the seniors will keep you very busy, and looking forward to the activities fair. Lots of fun stuff going on. So
right.
This is wonderful. I'm not seeing any other questions.
Actually, one other thing too is I forgot that I went in today to see Jeremy. Jeremy got his camera today from the PTA. He's got it set up. And it looks really cool. He was like a kid in a candy shop trying, he's going to get it all set up, and it does look really, really cool. So I will give you an update on how that's going. I'm hoping he'll have it up. I'll get a picture of it. Yeah.
That would be great. That'd be terrific. Well, thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it. Kyle and your team always appreciate it, because this is a wonderful venue for everyone to hear some great information. I did want to mention, Joanne did put a post, a link that I did take a peek at. Good resources for teachers and families. It's called Roots Connected, and it's got different workshops, which I took a peek while we were out here taking a peek at some of it. Some interesting topics there. So always great support mechanisms for us as parents as to how to manage and ourselves as well. So thank you very much, and getting lots of thank yous. So appreciate everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Enjoy the last of spring.
Yeah.
Summer's escaping us now. So enjoy the weather. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.